Hello YouTube, Kent here. Hope everyone is doing just fine. Sorry I haven't been making any videos for a long time now, but it's been a lot around me and a lot of things going on in the world, so I just haven't had the time. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about three subjects today, and then that's of course Libya, Japan, and some economic stuff. First of all, Libya. It's a strange situation because, okay, for once they got the UN to back this resolution, and that's good, that's good. But of course it's always double standard. In Bahrain they're killing people on the streets, and the US has a base there, so they don't do anything there. So it's always a double standard, and of course if Libya didn't have oil they wouldn't even bother to do anything. So, but anyhow, in my last video I I wasn't that glad on UN, but at last this time they got their act together and voted for a resolution that backs a no-fly zone over Libya, and they have the mandate to protect the people on the streets so civilians aren't attacked. But just in one day I have a really bad feeling about this, because when all this started, when all the civilians was killed in Libya, and they came out and said that from all the Western countries, and particularly from Obama, that Gaddafi has to go. That's the deal. And then yesterday, when the U.S. was asked, "Are you focused to try to get Gaddafi out with a strike or anything?" No, that's not their end goal. But it's like a Moment 22 story here. I don't know how they're gonna do this, because okay, they bombed all those sites with the anti-aircraft heavy weapons, and they can now fly freely in the air to protect military the civilians and attack military whatever. But I mean, how should they do this in the end? I mean, if they are saying that Gaddafi has to go, then they have to really spell out that we are in this for the long haul. We would do whatever it takes with the UN mandate behind us. They have to put an ultimatum to Gaddafi. They can't just go out and say, no, we're not taking him out, when they said earlier that Gaddafi has to go. So it's a really strange situation. They have to have unity going out and say, Gaddafi, this is how it is. We're gonna bomb you, and we are ready to put in boots on the ground, not an occupation force, but that we are ready to take you out. So either you save the suffering of the people, or we have to go that route. So I haven't heard that yet, really. So I really have a bad feeling about this, because you see now in what his name is, Musa from the Arabic whatever, came out yesterday and was after one day he was complaining over the bombing. But I mean, how should you effectively safeguard a no-fly zone? You have to bomb those installations, and you have to take out some military personnel. So it's gonna be a tricky one. I think they need a clear cut line here how they're gonna do this, because otherwise it's gonna be a real mess. And if you look at Gaddafi, he can just step back and sit there in his cave somewhere and just wait this out. They're gonna so yeah, it's good to have a UN mandate, but you have to go the whole way. You have to really be totally clear what you want to do with this mission. So right now I don't see that, so I have a bad feeling about this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is it's gonna be a really strange outcome of this. And all the focus from this has taken away the focus from the real bad thing that happened last week with the earthquake and tsunami. I think it's going to be over 20,000 people that's going to die, and the radiation now that's being worse day by day. We have some good news today, but it's still, nobody knows how it's going to end. So I really feel bad for the Japanese people, and it's the thing over there, it's going to cost a lot of money to rebuild it. Of course, it's a rich country, but it's going to affect the whole world economy. As I said earlier, we are seeing signs. I'm not doom all the time. We are seeing signs here in Sweden that things are getting better. The economy is doing really well, and still Europe, some countries are better than others. I mean, Portugal was downgraded last week. So there are still bad. I mean, they haven't those assets that were bad assets when this started back in 2007. They're still there. So things are looking a little bit better, but it's not much that needed for the economy to really take a downturn again. So, and the U.S. they're just massaging all the figures to make the for the public to make it to look better. So I still believe, maybe not in the short term, the dollar has to go, and there have even been talks. Even Geithner went out last and been quite popular about one world currency, and in the end, I'm not saying in 5-10 years, I think that's the road they're gonna go, because we live in a monetary system that is not a consumer society, that's not healthy for nobody. So in the end, it has to collapse. Anyhow, I have a bad feeling about Libya. It's not looking good at all, and I feel sad for Japanese people, but they're really great people. They just stand in lines and help each other. I have to say, even if North Korea is a troublesome country, the people are living under a dictator there. I remember when they played football against Brazil in the World Championship. They were so polite. When they took down a Brazilian player, they excused and bowed and was really sorry that they do. So I'm just saying that they're very polite people in the Asian countries. It's really, and in that football game, in the end, the Brazilians couldn't be, like they used to be. So they're starting to take up those North Korean players when they kicked them down and were excusing too. So Asians they've gone through a lot, and I think they will build the country again. And they are very polite, focused people, but they're having a really bad situation right now. And I'm just babbling along, but keep your eye on Libya. And in Bahrain today, some of the forces that are loyal to the president has stepped over to the protester side. So that situation, you have to keep your eye there. And even in Syria, there are big protests going on there. Nobody thought that Syria would ever be involved in this Middle East democracy spread that's going on right now. So, but keep your eyes there. And Iran, that's the big main goal for the US. Sometimes I wonder if they're not 100% behind this Middle East stuff. So everybody, have a nice day. Try to make a video soon again. Take care.